So, JoJolion chapter 103 is out, and it actually got the Ultra Jump cover this month, so look at that, that's beautiful. And then we get a little bit of a decluttered version, just the artwork, and I gotta say, this artwork is some of my favorite of 2020. I love the pink bubbles, the pink aesthetic. It's partly why I chose the pink thumbnails that I do all the time, because of this JoJolion aesthetic. It's been called peak JoJolion aesthetic I've seen on Twitter, and I do agree. And then the actual chapter cover page it has the words, "Those bubbles are lines, and they spin." I still think it's so cool that Josuke has the spin, and it's not being used the same way as it was in part 7. It's like a totally new concept because we haven't seen it in such a long time. But jumping right into the chapter, we open with a bit of a weird one. We see a plane, and there's a little bit of narration. It says, "On this day, 10,000 meters above the ground, Flight XXX, which had departed from New Chitso Airport, was approaching the Kitami River and slowly beginning to decline in altitude." And then it goes on to say that because of this, one of the panel for the inflatable escape ramp, broke off the plane and started plummeting to the earth. And then we cut to the Higashikata estate events, where the zombified, definitely influenced by the calamity, Joshu kind of just trips over the pot and goes down. His strength is all gone. He's back to when Yasuo was first injured, crawling around, barely hanging on to life. It's that bad. And we see this chapter is full of awesome shots, and there's like 2 shots of it where it's just the head doctor, the stand, Wonder of You, standing on a tree branch, because we know he can like levitate and stuff. But it's just such an awesome shot, because if you look, the branch is so brittle that he shouldn't be able to stand on it, but he is, and it's so menacing. And Yasuo is just looking up there, like, because she knows this stand doesn't directly attack, so she's not doing anything. She's just standing there, staring down the stand, on the phone with Kay. And Wonder of You assures her that the calamity will come, and it's interesting that it's Wonder of You and it's not Toru. This is the stand's attack. And then we cut back and we see Holly briefly with all the markings on her body, the same one we saw. We get a reassurance that the name change is official. It's Kei Nijimura. It's not Kyo Nijimura anymore. And then we see Kei on the move in the hospital. Basically, Yasuo explains that there's calamity, and she says, "Yep, I know, but this guy is half my older brother, and my mom wants me to save him, so I guess I'll have to do it." And then we cut to Josuke. Josuke is still reeling over the loss, basically the loss of Mamazuku. He's still yelling, and now I think he's pretty much done, because he just basically snaps. The head doctor's mocking him. "So, are you going to approach Josuke?" "Approach me, Josuke? From the start, I've been making you approach me." And then he punches at, I'm pretty sure there's just like I think that's like a wall, but there's doors back there, right? That's the Lokakaka 625 lab. And we see him breaking the vials and breaking them. This is, and Wonder of You, so Wonder of You, this has to be Toru talking through him. I don't think the stand is sentient, because I don't think a stand has much interest in money. He says, "Stop that, Josuke! Even if I do obtain the new Rokakaka, that is a healing item, which is incredibly important to the medical world. A single test tube is worth over 200 million yen. Now, look at this, break this down." Wonder of You says, "Stop, it's important to the medical world." And then he brings up money. I've been kind of off and on saying this, but Toru's main motivation is money, I'm pretty sure, up to this point, unless we get like a flashback revealing his whole past or whatever, and he has some personal vendetta. But so far, it's been about money. A lot of the rock humans have been about money. It's just the impersonal greed versus the family ties that bond Josuke and the Higashikata family. That's what this conflict is about, which is why, as much as I don't want to say this, I don't think that Jobin and his mom are going to be that big of villains, because the story isn't about the family-on-family conflict. It hasn't been for 50 chapters, at least. I don't know what to say other than it's about impersonal greed and family connections. personally to me so far. I don't know. And Wonderview continues on saying, they've already been pre-ordered, and this is a technology the world needs. Again, he's pleading with Josuke's good side. He's like, this will help many more people. It'll harm me, sure, but you're destroying that healing factor for a lot of people. And Josuke's done. He is done. He says, yeah? Well, I got these sneakers at an outlet for 7,000 yen. First, I'll destroy all these Rokakaka, and I doubt you've got any hidden anywhere else. But if you do, I'll find it, and I'll destroy them too. And he continues, and then he sees Wonderview move towards him, and Wonderview speaks. So, you want me to approach you? Before that, allow me to tell you something that is an indisputable fact. And he starts dodging the bubbles. He knows where the bubbles are. Hirose Yasuo is currently at the Higashikata estate. Do you really have time to be doing such things? And Josuke is like, oh shit, I didn't even think about the girl. I was too busy crying over my bro. Like, he's too busy. He didn't even think. Yeah, he's been more focused on his survival than I think Yasuo's. Which, I mean, yeah, you're going up against one of the most powerful stands in the entire franchise. Of course you're going to want to think about your own self for a minute. Very shortly, she will die. She is next in the order of the flow of calamity. Josuke is struck by these words from the head doctor. He is gonna save her, and the only way he can do that is by defeating this copy of the stand and getting to the Higashikata estate. So that's what he's going to do. That's his plan, I think. And I think this panel right here, the cross section and the faded lines, and then he aura attacks them, I think that panel is when he's technically going after the head doctor, because a calamity strikes him in the throat. One of the broken vials ricochets and catches Josuke in the throat. We see this overhead shot of the Wonderview stand squatting. We see Mamazuku's body. He is definitely dead. Like, there is no but stands or ifs about it. He is so dead. And then you see Josuke, and then the head doctor speaks. I do hope you understand your position. If you didn't pursue me, then nothing would have happened. Look at what your actions brought. The fragments of the test tubes ricocheted at you. I gave the same warning to Yasuo Hirose. That includes what you did just now. If you were to touch something that I have touched, Wonderview, the flow of calamity will attack you. The same goes for Mamazuku Rai, and it shows a picture of my dear deceased brother Rai. Next will be Yasuo Hirose, then Mitsuba Higashikata. So, he's revealing the order of death. It's Yasuo, then Mitsuba. Josuke isn't in that flow of death. So, Josuke, I think, kind of picks up on that. So he goes for a kick. Josuke, the man, kicks at the head doctor, which sucks because, we know it wouldn't work. You have to be a stand to hit a stand. But the bubbles are in the way, and because he went for the attack, a chunk gets ripped out of Josuke's ankle, and it's like, oh man, it's pretty gross. And then some inner monologue, the soap bubbles. And then we see this. I just want you to take a look at Josuke's face. I love those eyes. Araki does those eyes a lot, but never for the main characters. Most recent has been Far Off Joshu eyes, but that style of eye that Araki does, I love it. And I'm so glad to see that Josuke has it. And then we see Josuke fall onto a metal beam that goes right through his shoulder. Josuke is at one of his lowest points in the whole entire fight. He is needing some backup very, very quickly. But guess what? That's it, Josuke. Just like that. That's just fine, isn't it? And then whoosh, the bubbles scatter. And then they start freezing because... Born This Way is here. Oh yeah. Oh my god. This is such a good panel. When I was first reading this yesterday, I'm recording this probably the same day it goes up, I was like, no way. Yes. Because we've all been waiting for this panel. We knew it was coming. Where Born This Way just crashes in. Everyone who is reading knew that it was coming. But it is so much better than like anything I pictured in my head. Actually seeing it is just, it's so good. And the bubbles start freezing. And basically what Wonderview is having done to him is he's having the wind push the bubbles towards him. And Josuke realizes and drops the name Born This Way. And it's interesting because Born This Way is an automatic stand. Kei shouldn't be affected by the whole calamity because she's going to Josuke. She's not going after the head doctor. She just put her stand just happened to go after him. And so the cane gets broken. So Cane Gang, not your day. And we see Kei walking in, Born This Way behind her. It's so amazing because then we see, did you just attack me? And we see that the stand has a chunk taken right out of its head. Glorious. Unthinkable. This can't be. And then we see a shot of Toru with blood dripping down. And I like how it didn't touch his hair. His glorious hair was untouched. But he does have a chunk out of his head now, and we do know that the damage reflects, so this isn't an automatic stand. This is literally like a body swap stand, I'm pretty sure. Or consciousness swap. And then for the final panel, we get a little narration. Those soap bubbles just now, inside them, it was just as Rai Mamazuku said, something Josuke has not realized, and something that can't be seen is in them. And the little, not spoiler, but teaser text says, soft and wet has something further. So if the spin wasn't enough, there is something else, which you never know what it could be, honestly. And let me just say, I think that Josuke's redesign for this arc is probably one of the most badass things out there, because I forget how he looks and without it, but seeing it every chapter, every month is awesome. I still love his redesign. I did ever since he got it, and I do right now. So that was the analysis and the breakdown. This chapter was amazing, just to put it lightly. I just got to say thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to check out all the other videos about JoJolion Chapter 103 on YouTube, because every creator loves when they get supported. So this was a bit of a shorter episode, but it was a more action-packed chapter. Less dialogue to go through, less information to break down. Leave a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.